Hi guys, this is Sophie and Touche. Welcome to the Fair Coat No Knickers podcast. Today I have Leah Stundon on, who blew my mind, and we talked all about sex and I'm just traumatized, but it's fab. So I hope you enjoy, and we're here in 101. They're the sponsors of the podcast, so yeah, enjoy. Hi Leah.
Hello.
Welcome to my podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming on.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah. Okay, so I suppose I wanted to interview because I know that you're like this interesting character, and like I don't know you well. I just know you through people.
Yeah, I know you from around.
Yeah. From around. Like, you know.
Just one of those dates.
Yeah, but like, do you know, I always hear like, oh, Leah Stundon, but I never actually like spoke to you. So I suppose it'd be really interesting because like my other guests I would have known from like different parts of my life.
Yeah.
So I suppose give me a bit of your background and like Leah as a gal, and then like. True.
Ooh.
Like, yeah, like,
okay.
Introduce yourself to me.
Hello, I'm Leah as a gal. No, I suppose like I don't know, do you know what? The best way to describe me is I am who I am.
Yeah.
Like, I went to college, I studied applied social studies,
Okay.
I got my degree,
Fab.
and then I was like, oh, I need to take a bit of time out from this.
Okay.
So I started doing makeup, and I started doing makeup in my third year of college.
Fab.
I was sick of working in retail. I was like, I actually just can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I went out on my own and took a huge risk, but it paid off. I think I started off in a time as well where like nobody was doing it.
Okay.
Do you know, whereas now like anybody who's starting makeup or anything like that will,
They're a mess right
yeah,
away.
do you know, like they'll instantly be on Instagram, they'll instantly have a following, do you know, because like all the girls in school and stuff will follow them and whatever. Whereas when I was doing it, it was kind of about like building yourself up, but there wasn't many people doing it, so I think that benefited me. So I got my following from there.
And like, I suppose, so did you see it as like, I suppose from a marketing person, from a marketing point of view, did you see it as a trend that was coming up, or was it something that you were like, I just want to do this?
No, it was like I spotted a gap in the market where I was like, this is gonna blow up, you know. Like I was noticing that like more dramatic makeup was coming in and that people were doing it, and you know, everything like that. So I was kind of like, look, listen, here we go, time to bite the bullet. And with social media and stuff, people were kind of like, oh, what are you doing? And you know, you're posting your whole life on social media, because it wasn't really a thing unless you were a person.
Were you speaking to the camera at this stage and everything?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I just started off and I was like,
were you just like, I'm just gonna do it?
Yeah.
Like, or were you excited, or were you scared, or were you nervous?
oh, I was shitting it.
Okay.
Shitting it.
Okay.
But it was
fair play to you.
one of those things I was just like, you know,
Gotta do it, like.
do it. And you know what, I was one of the lucky ones, and it paid off for me. And then I was just decided it wasn't for me anymore.
Yeah, so can we talk about that?
Yes,
Are you okay to talk about that?
Yeah, totally.
So why? What?
So I was in a car crash a couple of years ago, and that hurt my back. So the long hours in makeup, and basically how I would describe it is you're teapotting, so you're teapotting all day. So that had a huge effect on my back. And then my mental health, I'd struggled with my mental health for years, and like anybody who's followed me knows that. I'm very open about it and have been since the get-go. Yeah. So I had a bit of a stumble last year where I went downhill. Okay. And I think I needed to make a decision about what was affecting me most, and makeup was one of those things. I just felt like there was a constant need to be better, to post, you know, constantly, to have the best makeup or the best amount of followers, the most likes. I just felt that it was getting almost draining, and the love for it, the love for it was gone, and I felt like that was affecting my mental health so much. So I made the executive decision for myself to, you know, take the risk and pull back and look after me.
I've literally got goosebumps like that. No, but like, do you know what? Fair play to you. Like, that must, I suppose you built yourself up, you have this following, and like there's this, I suppose, expectation of you to continue doing what you're doing, but like you actually were like good enough to yourself to actually stand back and make that decision. Like, that's incredible. Like, that's really incredible. Like, where did you learn that skill? Like,
do you know what? I don't know how to describe it, right? So basically I've had somewhat of a bad life, people would describe it, but I wouldn't consider it a bad life. I would consider it a lot of life lessons.
Your normality as well.
Do you know, a lot of life lessons, things that like people would be like, oh my god, how did you get through that? I just got through it. I had no other choice. So I think from a very young age I've learned to be very resilient and try and do what's best for me in order to grow and to make sure that everything works as a plan. I'm very much so the type of person, I thrive in chaos. If something hits the fan, I'm like,
you're like, oh, this is what we do,
this is fine. I'm like, let me do what I can do to fix this. Fab. And I just move with it, you know, because I've never been in a situation where I've stepped back and let someone else take the reins, you know.
Of course, yeah.
Unless it's with Eric. Like, Eric has been a huge help to me. Yeah, a huge help in regards to being like, I'm unemployed at the moment and I had savings, but my savings were not a patch if I didn't have him, you know. Of course, yeah. Like, he's the reason I've been able to stay out and mind myself.
So he's giving you space and allowing you to like grow and stuff.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. And I said to you a while ago, like, you're such a cute couple, like, do you know, and I suppose what you said to me, and maybe like, you know, you look fabulous now and like really happy and stuff, and like I suppose what you said about the teething problems at the start where you two grew as like people together.
I mean, like, we were totally different people when we met, and you know, like, both of us suffered with our mental health, and I think that we clashed in ways we triggered one another, you know. And like, he is open about this, he was a dickhead.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm not having that. And then I was like, oh, but I love him, so I'm gonna go back to him. And it was toxic for a little while. But I grew a lot as a person, and so did he. And I think, like, he'll tell you himself, I have done a lot of self-work, and in me doing that, I've been able to help him grow. Now, it's not taking anything away from him, because everything he's done himself, but like, he has become a much better person in himself, more confident and willing to do things that he would never do, because you know, you support your partner no matter what, like, you know.
And so I suppose with like that self-care and I suppose teaching those skills to yourself, like, where did you learn them? Like, what supports did you have, or did you just use your instinct?
I think, like, for a very long time I spiraled with my mental health, and I actually didn't know what was wrong with me up until, I would say, maybe about 4 years ago. And then I realized why I was feeling the way that I was feeling. I had no idea where it came from, and then when I realized what it actually was and why I was feeling the way that I was feeling, I was like, what can I do? Do you know? So I went to counselling. I had gone to counselling when I was younger for like things that I had in myself, and I was sent when I was younger. I was a very angry child, and I think when I realised what was going on, I was like, okay, I need to go back and I need to talk to someone. And I'm very lucky to have a very strong support system. My friends, I have a very small circle, and my small circle are my backbone. My family are my backbone, you know, like, everybody that I have around me are people that I can lean on, and I don't have people around me that I wouldn't consider. You know, I think it's important to surround yourself only with the people who are important and will do for you what you do for them, because otherwise it just becomes draining and toxic. And a lot of people stay in relationships like that because, you know, they've been friends with someone for years, and you know, like, you're kind of like, oh, can I end the friendship? Can I end this? And the answer is yes, you can, but it's about what you're willing to do for yourself, because if you're keeping that person around, then
it's like a vampire.
Yeah, they're just sucking you dry. Yeah, exactly. They're human succubuses is what I call them.
And very fancy.
But it's so true though, because like, they can absolutely just suck the life out of you.
And I think even if they're not doing anything per se, but if you have things like that attached to you that you might feel like I'm being judged, or you know,
you're already drained, and then if there's a draining person on top of it, and like, I wouldn't take anything personal from that, because the way I see things now is whatever way someone treats someone else is an issue that they haven't resolved in themselves. So it's nothing personal to you, it's personal to themselves. So I don't take it personal, I just cut it. I'm like, look, I can't do this for me, because ultimately you at the end of the day are the most important person, and you have to make the choices for yourself, you know.
Jesus, you're fab. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like fully touched by that, like, do you know what I mean? And like, feeling empowered.
You're
so thank
regular
you,
day
like,
Oprah.
No, really though. But like, okay, so there was one thing that you just played for me a few minutes ago that freaked me the fuck out. Can you please talk about it? It's called ASMR.
Yeah.
So like, this is like kind of a therapy almost.
Yeah. So
can you explain to people what that is?
Lots of people who have anxiety or can get easily stressed out or things like that will really enjoy it. So basically, what is that? One sec. I'm actually going to get up the proper term for it. Yeah. Because it's
like, I never knew anything about this kind of method of like relaxation and stuff like that. And then, like, also there was a sex one that you just played for me when she was talking about cocks and like, oh my god,
yeah,
like,
delicious.
No, stop! I can't. I got so awkward straight away. But but obviously, I think, as I said, I think that's something maybe I have to listen to get comfortable with it, because
exactly.
I'm actually going on a red now.
I
actually am going on a red now. I can't, like, and I'm sweating now as well. Like, okay, maybe I just need to listen to it in my own fucking time. Oh my god, like, I can't.
Oh god. So it's called autonomous sensory meridian response. So basically, it's basically a tingling. So you listen to it and it's almost kind of like a relaxing. Do you ever use those things for your head, you know, like the things that you massage with, right? So that'll kind of give you the same kind of relaxing effect. So it's like tingles is the best way to describe it. Like you were saying a while ago, oh my god, I have goosebumps. It's the same kind of principle. But it's used for relaxation, or it's in some cases, like a while ago where I was showing you the kinky ASMR, it's used for other purposes. It just depends on what your mood is, you know.
So would you put that on, like, in the bedroom?
No, I suppose, like, if I was just kind of like in the mood.
Leah's like, I'm going home to do that now.
Yeah, you know, like if I was kind of in the mood, I suppose, like, we wouldn't really be listening to ASMR and like that. Like, I've no issue like watching porn with him or anything like that, because I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll watch it for 10 minutes.
Do you not get awkward?
No.
Really?
No, I used to. I was like, if you.
But like, would it do it for both of you, and it would kind of like, it's almost like foreplay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like it like only sometimes, like, it's not.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think we have a very good sex life, and like that's a huge bonus. You know, but like, I think everybody in their relationship should watch porn together.
Yeah, okay.
Because you can watch different types of porn and you might get nothing from it, but if you know what porn you like, I think it's so important to invest in yourself and understand yourself sexually, because if you don't understand yourself, you can't expect your partner to. Like, I have met people before who are in their 20s, 30s, coming up to their 40s, who've never orgasmed, and that to me is crazy, because I'm like, you need to get in touch with your body.
I don't think I've orgasmed, to be honest.
What?
Yeah, like, I haven't reached the point of like out of controlness, like, so how do you find that?
Like, have you had like just like tingles, or like,
I mean, it's just like,
it.
Like, obviously it feels good.
Yeah, it feels good, but there's nothing like an orgasm. Trust me, if you had an orgasm, you'd know.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
No, you'd know. Full on, you'd know.
You can like send me like stuff later and be like, Sophie.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think it's more so about getting in tune with your body. So like, would you own like a vibrator or a bullet?
Yeah, I do have a vibrator. I can't believe I'm saying this. No, I do. I do. And do you know what? It was actually, this sounds so weird, but when I was like 17, I was working in BT's and there was a girl across the way from me, and she was just like, she was so fucking cool. She was like way older than me, and we like became really good friends. Yeah. And she was like telling me about her vibrator, and I was like, what are you doing, like, whatever. So one day she was like,
this piece of plastic.
Yeah. So one day she was like, Sophie, come on, like, we'll walk downtown or whatever. And I was like, grand. She brought me in town somewhere. It was around Christmas time. She bought me a vibrator for Christmas, and that was the first time I ever experienced one. And I was like,
I buy stuff like that for my friends all the time.
Oh my god. Yeah. So I have like a little.
Okay, so question,
collection.
Right? Now, a lot of women can orgasm through penetration.
Okay. I can't.
No. A lot of women.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
It doesn't hit the spot.
Yeah, no. Can't really do anything.
No, like you said, it feels nice. Yeah. Now, because I'm in tune with my body, I can orgasm through penetration because I know what will work for me to get there. Yeah. But I think in regards to like you actually finding like your proper orgasm, you'd be better off like sticking with like a bullet or using a vibrator that has, you know, ever see the ones that have like the rabbit fingers? So like that's for like your clit. Okay. And like most women will orgasm through clit stimulation.
Really?
Yeah. So
why?
It's just like, that's your little nub, right?
Nub.
That's the best way to describe it. So if you're gonna orgasm from penetration, they need to be hitting your nub. So certain positions, like most women won't orgasm through penetration because it's not hitting that spot that they need to hit. I'm literally like this.
Yeah, no, but this is amazing because like nobody like talks about this.
And you know what? I think that's a huge part of it because nobody actually talks about it. Yeah. So like, in regards to that, people don't know what they're missing out on, and people don't know, like, I think especially with men, like, some men are gifted, you know, don't get me wrong, they know their way around a woman's body, and they're like, listen, I'm gonna work that nub. Do you know? Yeah. But I think in regards to that, a lot of men don't know, and a lot of women don't know, and you don't know if they don't know. So if you don't know, then you can't tell them, and if they don't know, then you're just fucking Yeah, that's
banging away,
that's
and
literally
nothing's
it.
actually
You're literally
like
just banging away.
So then let me ask you this, right? So like, you know the way people say, oh, like there was a spark, the sex was amazing, it was passionate. Is that different to like passion, different to like the hitting the spot? Like
I think obviously if you're like lost in like a passionate rage almost, you know, like, and it's really lusty and it's sexy, like, you know, like that can be enough to set someone off, you know.
I get you.
But
there's different types of...
you know, like, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to orgasm straight away. I mean, you can have incredible sex with someone and not orgasm, but ultimately at the end of it, everybody wants an orgasm, you know.
Yeah, apparently.
So,
I'm going home to like fucking look shit up, like.
I didn't understand my body for so long, right?
Yeah.
And I will tell you here now, truth. Before I met Eric, I had never orgasmed.
Okay.
Never.
Go on, Eric.
And but that happened through a lot of communication.
Okay.
I was like, listen, you're not going to make me orgasm. It's as simple as that. It's just not going to happen. And he was like, well, fuck this. I want to make it my mission.
Exactly,
you know? So we did a lot of communication. I found out what worked for my body, and I found out what felt good. And
how'd you do that? Tell me.
So
sorry, is this way too personal?
No,
okay,
nothing's too personal. You can ask whatever. So again, back to the whole thing of exploring your body. So watching different categories of porn, seeing what I liked. Obviously, like, masturbation is so important, and I don't think people realize how important it actually is. Like, it's so good for you.
Really?
Yeah, it's such a relief. Like, an orgasm, and even like sometimes if you don't orgasm, sometimes just like literally touching yourself can just be do you know? Yeah, like that kind of zen. But ultimately, when you get an orgasm, that releases the endorphins, do you know, that allow you to relax and unwind. And like, if people are feeling very stressed, if I'm feeling really stressed, or do you know, if I'm a little bit anxious or anything like that, I love having sex because I feel like that just brings me back to reality and I can breathe a little bit. But I think in regards to that, you need to know your body. So like, watching porn, finding what works for you. Some people don't like porn, do you know? If you don't like it, you find what else, do you know? Like, some people listen to things like ASMR, do you know? Or
that, like, I'm sorry now, but if anyone doesn't like porn, right?
Yeah.
That, for me, the minute you turned it on, I was like, Jesus Christ, I can't.
You're flushing.
So anybody else, like, it's kinky ASMR,
Yeah, because like, when, like, now, and some people aren't into kink, so like, you can just turn on like sexy ASMR or whatever, you know.
What's kink?
So,
and sex. I'm so bad at this. I'm so uneducated.
Okay, you want to go down that lane?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, right, there's a lot of categories that are defined under kink. So like, it depends on what you're into. So some people are into bondage. Some people, you know, it just...
People are into like feet.
Yeah, so foot fetishes. It's a lot of fetishes, and I suppose like it's put into one category that's kind of seen as almost taboo, and I think like that's people's notions of it.
I know, but surely it's just someone's preference.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know
and
what
it
I mean?
is. It's completely down to preference. Now, I am not one to kink shame. I do not care what your kink is. I'm like, look, there's a reason for it, and if you indulge in that, that's fine by me. I might not necessarily agree with it. I might not understand it, but that works for that person, you know. And like I said, you explore your body and you find what works for you. Everybody has something that they're kind of like, I don't know if I could say this out loud, but I would really like that to happen.
Okay.
Do you know, like, some people would love to have sex outdoors, and they're almost embarrassed, and they wouldn't
have
ask
you had sex outdoors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a little hoe. I was such a hoe when I was younger, but it's fine.
Yeah, I was.
Do you know, like, I lost my virginity at a very young age.
What age were you?
I, believe it or not, was 13.
I was 12.
Yeah, do you know, and I had literally,
but you know what?
I'd literally just turned 13, so...
Yeah, but you know what? I think, like, obviously, did you get your period young and stuff like that?
Yeah, I developed really young, like, I had boobs and everything. Yeah.
I remember, like, I had hair under my arms, I was like, Mom, and she was like, that's disgusting, get the shaver, like, you know, so, Do
you know, so, like, I have essentially been having sex since I'm 13, you know, and, like, I was obviously in relationships and stuff like that, and, do you know, like, when you're young, you don't really have anywhere else to go, so you go outside. You're like, where'll take me? Okay, do you know?
Oh my
but
God.
some people still into their adult years like to have sex outside, do you know? So it just depends on what your preference is. Like, some, like, I know a couple who love to only have sex outside. They get off on it the most.
Like, okay.
Do you know?
Like, That's kind of cool. But like, do you know, then like you're like, okay, what if there was kids around?
Yeah. So like,
so there is two sides of the coin.
There is two sides of the coin. Some people like when there's people around that they can almost get caught. That's the thrill of it, you know.
Stop
it's
now,
like,
I can't.
Like, do you know when you're having sex with your boyfriend and like you know his mom and dad are in the house and the doors are locked, and walk in any minute and you're kind of like, this is really fucked up, but oh my god, you know, it's that whole sensation of like getting caught. You know, that's the allure.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, now I'm starting to understand, like, okay.
So there's a thing, it's like, it's called exhibitionism. And there's like, there's voyeurism. So people who like to watch.
What is it?
Voyeurism. So people who like to watch, and so which are voyeurs. And then exhibitionists, people who like to be watched. Or people, do you know, so like some people, like if you're in a relationship and you are an exhibitionist and you like to be watched, your partner might decide that it's okay to let people watch you have sex. You know,
really,
because that's what will get them off. Yeah.
Oh my god. So are they swingers essentially then?
No, because
they might not touch them.
No, they might literally just sit in the room and watch. So like if you go to some kink clubs or anything like that, then there's rooms literally where there's a glass panel and like some people can just literally watch and you know you're being watched, but there's nobody in the room. Some people like to have someone in the room.
Yeah, my mind's blown.
Do you know, like do you know what? Right, when you were like, "What's kink?" I was like, "Oh, okay." Like,
yeah, no, but I this is good
there's
shit.
so many categories that fall under it, you know. And then obviously there's swinging, and you know, like some people like to swing, and some people like to watch their partner or engage as their partner has sexual intercourse with another person. Now, a lot of people who do that will have them tied up and will have them
tied up as in
so like in cuffs or with rope, or it depends on whatever you're into, because it's the whole thing of they still want to exercise that control. You know, now that's making sense. Do you know, where you don't, like, they're not seeing the other person that's involved.
Yeah.
So only your partner can see this person, and you also can't touch this person. Yeah. So you know that there's another person in the room present and touching you, and you also know that your partner, or say your dom or whatever, are in the room.
So dom.
Yeah. So dominant and submissive.
Okay. Tell me.
So it's basically like the person who's in control and the person who is basically submissive to them.
So this is like 50 Shades kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. 50 Shades. That's the best way to describe it, because some people don't understand it. Now, 50 Shades isn't incredibly accurate, because obviously it's a story and it's there, and like, you know,
there is a bit of fantasy and
there's
fluff
a bit of fantasy,
around it.
Of course there is.
Whatever.
You know, I mean, like, in regards to being completely honest about it, there is contracts, and like all of those things are extremely important.
There's contracts.
Now if you're in a long relationship and you know that this is what you want to do, and like you're able to express your limits and stuff like that, then some people won't have them. But people who are entering into a dominant submissive relationship will have a contract, because there's limitations and there's things that you will and won't do, and if anything ever was to go wrong, that there's the contract there where things are in writing, because some people are into like some really deep dark shit.
Like what's deep dark shit? Tell
me.
I
suppose like
oh my god, this is so juicy.
I suppose right, so some people are into like knife play, so some people are into so like, now you might not actually touch the like go into the skin with a knife, right? But you might actually just be generally interested in having a knife near you. So like you might be kissing and they might have a knife to your throat or in between your thigh, or, you know, grazing it along. You know, it just depends. Some people like that. Some people are into gore. So I suppose like the term would be like gore whores. So
gore whores.
Yeah. So,
you know everything.
Do you know, like, I'm well vested in this area, because I suppose at the end of the day, when I'm obviously going to go do my master's in counselling and psychotherapy.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Down the line, I want to get into sex therapy. Yeah, I want that to be a service that I offer.
Therapist.
Oh, thanks, hon.
100%.
Yeah, so I suppose like my own self, like I am into freaky shit. That's me all out.
That's cool,
you know?
And
obviously,
I wish I was into
sometimes I like vanilla, you know, but like most of the time I'm like, slap me around a little bit. Cool, tie me up, bite me, leave a mark on me, you know. I like, you know, I suppose I would be very submissive. You know, but I do have a dominant streak that I do like to engage
in. So would that be like spoken about before you like
met Eric?
Yeah.
Or
sorry, actually, I can't like fully ask you what you think. But in general, if you were changing roles, like, would you have a chat about it and be like, listen, I'm gonna fucking fuck you tonight, like,
sometimes I suppose, like, without saying, it can be done, you know. Like, you start it in control, so like you might climb on top of them and you might like hold their hands behind their, you know, their head or whatever, and start kissing them, and then you're ultimately the power holder, so you're taking control, but it's up to that person whether they want to submit. So then it's like the whole primal thing, you know. So then it's like, you know, it goes to the case of sometimes, like, if you have two primal doms, and that can be male and female, male and male, two women, whatever, you know, whatever your preference, but if you have two primals, and it can get really hot and heavy, you know, because like both of them ultimately want control, and it's almost like that fight for it, you know.
Now I'm like, oh.
Yeah, so like it depends. Like, sometimes it can be done without speaking, and your dom may allow it, and then your dom may not, you know. It just depends on their mood. And then sometimes you speak about it and you're like, listen, I feel like I need to blow off a little bit of steam, I want to be in control, and that's when it's spoken about, you know.
I've never I don't think I've ever thought about sex like that.
There's
ever,
a whole,
in my whole entire
world
life
to
like,
it, you know, a whole world. But I think, like, everybody in some way, shape or form is into some form of kink without like, you know, delving into the category. Some people love to be choked, you know. Some people, like, if they're kissing, they like to have a hand on their neck. You don't necessarily have to squeeze, you don't necessarily have to cut off air. Do you know, like, some people are into some people love being bit. You know, like, it's one of my things. Like, if you bite me, if you bite me, see ya.
God,
if you kiss the back of my neck and you bite me, but like not like just like a little bit, bite me hard. I'm like gone. Gone.
Have you any bite marks?
I actually think I've won right now. It's kind of fading though.
Oh my
God. I have an interview on Monday and I was like, you can't bite me.
And like, when, like, so even seeing that, would that like kind of remind you, that kind of gets you going again?
Yeah, it's because, like, you know, and then like obviously like if something happens, like, say, like, I love paddles. So like,
what are paddles?
So basically, like, do you ever see the things that people spank people with? So if you've been in Ann Summers, like, you'll see like think of like a cricket bat. Right? But like, it's like soft leather, or you can use a cricket bat if that's what you're into, you know. Some people are, you know, like, I love to be marked, and I love to feel it afterwards, because then, like, do you know, the next day if you're walking, you feel a little bit something, you're like, you flash back, you know. And it stems back to that, like, anticipation. And like, one of my favorite things about sex is foreplay. And foreplay, I think a lot of people have the conception that, like, foreplay starts literally, do you know, when you go into the bedroom and you're like, oh, I'm gonna kiss you, I'm gonna kiss your neck, and,
of course,
do you know, like, and everything starts from there, but it doesn't. Like, foreplay can actually start from the morning, do you know, like, so they can, like, they could put you up against the wall and kiss you, and then they're like, I'm going to work now, and then, like, then send you a dirty message, and then I
need someone to push me up against the wall.
But like, do you know, I think, like, so many girls, and like, obviously not all girls, because some women are very dominant, and like, that's totally okay. And I obviously like to be dominant sometimes, but the majority of the time I'm submissive, and I'm like, just push me up against the wall, kiss me, hold my hands back so I can't do anything. See ya. Do you know?
And I'll see you later, babe.
Do you know? And like, foreplay can start literally from the very beginning of the day. And I think that as women, I think that we literally, foreplay is our thing. So the way I describe a woman is, do you ever see the power plant in The Simpsons? Have you ever seen the meme, and it's like how to turn on a woman, and it's like the power plant in The Simpsons with all the switches, and it's like how to turn on a man, and it's like a light switch on and off. That isn't always like true for men, because obviously, like, I think some men need some extra work to kind of get them going, you know. But women in general, there's so many switches, and like, if you start the morning and like, you build up and build up and build up that anticipation, when you come home, like, she's gonna be ready and waiting, you know, that kind of way. I find that, like, if Eric was to start like foreplay with me in the very beginning of the day, I'm like, is he home yet?
Oh my God, I love it.
You know, like, because I think we as women, like, our foreplay starts in so many different ways. And then when you get to the bedroom, and then the foreplay starts in there, and like, foreplay kind of lasts around maybe like 5-10 minutes, you know, and then it kind of gets to the heavy stuff. So if you're starting from the very, very beginning of the day, you're already stimulated, you're aroused, you're switched on, you're ready to go.
Amazing.
And I think, like, that as well is a huge part of, like you said, you don't think you've ever orgasmed.
No.
So like, it's almost like edging. So like edging is a thing where you will get yourself close to the point of coming and you don't, you stop. Or your dom might be in control and your dom might decide that they're not letting you come and they'll stop and they let you come down and then it starts again.
Okay. I was like, you can't just leave them hanging, like.
No, so like sometimes some people will leave someone hanging for a day, for 2 days. Stop. Yeah, they'll keep edging and it just depends. Some people are into that and some people aren't, but I think like if in regards to you, like exploring your body, like that's something that you obviously want to do now.
Yeah. Well, after talking to you anyway, I'm like, I need to be getting horny again, like.
Do so like that might be something that like you play around with yourself, like, starting the day, like, finding what like turns you on and what gets you going, and starting your day with that, and like the middle of the day delving back into that a little bit, and then when you go home
in the middle of the day,
say
I'm just going to the toilet there.
Don't mind me. But
Leah's like, yeah, do that. Okay.
I'm like I feel like that everyone should be in touch with their body, both women and men. Like that everyone should.
So okay, obviously, like, whoa, like, you have taught me so much, like, so I'm just wondering, like, what made you get into it? Like, what made you, I suppose, try and understand the different categories of sex, or, like, what was your kind of, like, you, like, even though you're just, like, explaining things as if, like, this is how you have sex, this is how you get horny, this is how you...
Yeah.
How did you...
It's not as easy as that. Like, I know that, obviously, because I know what I'm talking about, it almost rolls off like it's easy.
Yeah.
So it's like if you watch a makeup tutorial and you're like, oh my God, that made that look so easy, but it's not, But I have always been, I would say, fairly promiscuous. I've always been interested in sex from a very young age. Never understood why, but that was just me, From a very young age, that was always something that I was interested in. I always liked having sex. I always liked getting attention from men, So that was something that I suppose stuck with me throughout the years. And then I was like, listen,
I might as well learn about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this time and I'm gonna learn about me and I'm gonna figure stuff out.
Yeah.
And then obviously when I got with Eric, we were obviously in a very communicative relationship, and we discussed what we liked and things that we wanted to try. And it's trial and error. You're gonna try some things with your partner or a person that you're sleeping with or whatever, or you're gonna go home with someone on a night out and they're gonna try something. You're gonna be like, that's fucking not for me. Don't do that again. Yeah. But someone might do something, you might be like, wow, that really kind of got me going.
Yeah.
I will never forget, I think I was like 15 or 16 at the time, and a guy kind of like threw me up against the wall forcefully, and I was like, oh, my whole body tingled. And I was, I think I almost like hit my head really hard, but like not like too hard, but I was kind of like, I was taken aback, like he just pushed me up against it, and I was like, oh my God, I love that, So in some sense, I've always liked that kind of roughness,
So, yeah, like, there was one... Okay, I can't even believe I'm saying this. But, like, as in, one of my ex-boyfriends, I remember, like, to be honest, the only way that I can communicate with guys, really, is to go home with them after a night out. Yeah. And that's just... I don't know what it's down to, either insecurity or whatever else. Yeah. Like, but, I remember he picked me up in his Merc, so obviously I was like, yes, like, So he came over to my house anyway, and, like, he ate my ass, and I was like, oh my God, what is this? I would have never ever let anyone near it, like, and I was like, okay, I actually really like this. Yeah. So now I'm like an advocate for that. Yeah. That's the one thing I'm like,
there is nothing better. There is absolutely nothing better. It's literally like that little lick, and it just slides
oh my God.
Oh, excuse me. The first time it happens, you're kind of like, oh, I didn't realize I was tingling there, but all right.
Yeah. And it's like, it sounds disgusting to someone that might not have experienced it. But you should try it. Everyone should try it. Men as well are, like, so many women, and like, do you know what, I've had a lot of guys message me on my page, and obviously my page, I don't know, maybe I've made it like a place where people feel safe, that they're able to say things and that it's not going to go anywhere. I could imagine why.
Do you know, and I've had a couple of guys message me and be like, look, I've asked my girlfriend, would she put a finger in my ass, or would she put a butt plug in me, or things like that, and like, they've said that their girlfriends are like, no, oh my God, I can't do that, like, that's disgusting, or that's gay. And like, do you know, and even I think some guys as well associate that with being gay, do you know, like, if you do anything to their butt, but like, Like a man's prostate, do you know, like you can make a guy come from his prostate and he might,
and that's up in their bum,
yeah, like not even be hard. Yeah, like that's but like this way, so like come here.
Oh, okay. Oh my god, okay. I'll be like sticking this up the next time I take home after
he's like, lads are going home working next week, she's freaky.
Oh my god.
So like you can make a guy actually come and they might not even be hard, so it's like milking them, you know. Yeah.
Did you just say milking them?
It's like a term.
No, that one drew me. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god, I'm fucking getting red again. Like I can't. You're fucking brilliant. You know that. Okay, well look. So I suppose obviously we could talk about sex all day, and I think actually I'm gonna book you in for a section. So you're like, this is what you do, Sophie.
Yeah.
But like, if there's anyone like watching it that are like. They've picked up on something that you've said, or the rim job or whatever, what would you say to them? Like, what would your advice be if they were afraid to try something new and stuff?
I think just go for it. And I think I think a lot of people's problems is they don't want to communicate what they want.
Okay.
And I think communication is key in any relationship. Even if you're just sleeping with someone, you've been sleeping with someone for 3 months and you're like, they're your go-to person. Yeah. You know, like you don't necessarily have to be in a relationship. Like it could be someone that you go home with, and like you just communicate. Yeah. Communicate what you want. Like, don't lie there and let someone go down on you and you're like, great, I love that, do you know, like,
you tell them where to go,
do you know, like, be honest, like, let someone know exactly where your pleasure points are and what gets you off, what you're into. And I think so many people have the fear of being judged, and you know what, if you say something to your partner and they're like, look, do you know, I don't know if I want to do that, that's totally fine, but you've expressed what you think that you want. You know, you're not going to know unless you ask. And like any decent relationship that you're in, and if they don't want to do it, they'll say, look, I understand that you like that, maybe I'll try that, but I don't feel ready for that now. You know, and like that's totally fine. But communication, literally just communicate.
And then, but if someone's single,
so
basically,
obviously
I'm looking for consultation.
So when you're single, right, it's obviously harder because like you're either meeting up with someone that you've met on Tinder, or you're going home with someone on a night out, and obviously things get a little bit kind of more because you're like,
it's you know, not like,
can I tell this person that this is what I'm into? And it's almost like that line is there in the middle, and like both of you are afraid to cross it, you know. But like I think you can be very assertive with your body and let someone know what you want, you know. And you can do that without actually saying anything. If you want someone to be forceful with you, like you can take their hands and put them on your hands and raise your hands and hold them back, and that's so that they know to restrain you, you know. Like it's all about body language. Like body language is so important, and if you're having sex with someone, body language like is something that you're going to read and
that's
you're going to pick up on.
You talking to them
exactly. Body, like. You know, and I think it's just a matter of doing that, because obviously if you're going home with someone on a night out, or you're meeting someone after Tinder and you've gone on a date and you're like, oh, I kind of like you, Tingling, let's go, you know.
Let's go.
You know, so like you're not going to sit down with them and be like, listen, Linda, honey, listen, this is what I'm into, you know. So like body language. Fab.
Okay, and so like just for anyone that might want to ask you questions, or like, are you okay to?
I'm completely
What's
open.
your like Instagram and stuff for them to ask you?
So I suppose like I use my personal Instagram more so for stuff like this, and I think I kind of.
This is your personal Instagram.
Yeah. So like I think I kind of hold back a little bit on my makeup account, because obviously I am very conscious that there is. Brand you know, and like obviously I'm gone away from makeup, and I am trying to decide what I want to do with that page now, but I am conscious that there is younger people on it, so I think I kind of try and wean it back a little bit, and then my personal account is like, look, anything goes, you know. So like you can ask me on either and I will probably reply back to you directly, but like anything.
And what's your Instagram handle? Just
so my Instagram handle for my personal page is little_heathen, and I think it's XO. I will check.
Because I think you're probably going to get a lot of DMs in like listen.
So it's little_heathen X, and it's just because I am a little heathen. So
what's a heathen?
It's just basically someone who doesn't go by the rules. You know?
Love it. I love it.
You know, it's like I think it's back in the day, like people used to talk people who like did bad things, or you know, like if you weren't religious, you were known as like a heathen. You know. Kind of like that rascal, you know.
Bit rascal. Okay, so look, I suppose you put up a question box on your Instagrams yesterday, and I suppose like I do this with all of my guests just to like get the perspective of the person, the people that would be watching it and stuff. And I suppose one of them was the social stigma through social media with people in their underwear and like, talk to me about this. Like.
That was something that I was actually really fascinated about, because obviously we were talking about this earlier, and I have obviously come across people who have seen someone's photo and they've decided that they're going to pass a comment on it, and you know, these same people are, when something happens, they're the first person to put something up being like, listen, you can talk to me, you can do this, and like, that's all well and good, and I do understand that, but you know, like, if you're going to be one of those people who wants to advocate for that, then be a person who is open and will allow people to be them true selves. Now, I put up a thing because I was actually genuinely curious about people's ideas and why they would feel like they should pass a comment on it, and I was actually really interested to find the results.
Like, did people be very honest?
Yeah, they were really, really honest, and I actually really appreciated that. I messaged a couple of people back and I was like, listen, I actually really appreciate that you haven't said, like, that you have said, sorry.
And like, what would the reasons be? Like, where some of them were just like,
do you know what, I'll actually read out a few of them for you.
These are anonymous as well, by the way, just
so
but like, I suppose, you know, with people putting up pictures in their underwear and stuff, for me anyway, like, you know, I think everyone puts up photos for attention on Instagram, so whether you're wearing your fucking clothes or a plastic bag or nothing at all, everyone's still looking for attention.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
This one, like, this girl messaged me and she was like, it's complete jealousy, being honest. I'm not the biggest fan of my body, so I get annoyed when I see these. Girls with great figures, I don't know why I do it. I should really stop. It's not nice at all.
Oh my God. I love that.
Yeah, and I messaged her back. I was like, thank you so much. That's so raw. And then, do you know that was actually kind of a frequent answer? People feeling really self-conscious in themselves and passing a comment on someone to make themselves feel better. Yeah. But in turn, like, you're internalizing that and you're not actually making yourself feel better because you're doing it at the cost of someone else.
Of course,
you know?
And it's negative vibes anyway. Like.
Exactly. So again, it's the same thing. If I'm having a bad day, it can make me feel worse about myself and more self-conscious. You know, there's this one and it made me laugh, and I do kind of agree with it. It's like, honestly, I'm sick of women doing it when their child is in the background looking for a pal.
Oh my God, I'm weak. Like,
and I was like, look, I understand that. You know, I'm like, if you want to post something suggestive, like, I don't recommend that your child is there and present. You know, there's a time and a place, and obviously I believe that, like, you know, obviously kids from a young age like develop their sexual feelings and stuff like that, but I feel like if you want to do that for yourself, you're an adult,
of course,
you know, like, do it in your way, where
in your own time.
you know, so that would be my kind of idea on it. But in saying that, if I seen a photo and there was a child in the background, I wouldn't necessarily comment on it either, you know. Do you know, but I do understand that person's point of view. So a lot of people said that it's down to their own selves, you know, their own kind of self-consciousness. And I really appreciated that, because that was really raw.
Yeah, no, it is. Like, it is. And I think, do you know, I suppose the fact that people did answer very honestly, but that just kind of shows what they think of you as well. Yeah. That they could be honest with you. Yeah. That's amazing.
There was one, and it was like, I wouldn't be mean and say that they deserve less respect for how they dress, but I just think people would judge, saying she's no respect for herself, even though that girl could be a virgin or never even kissed a guy, but they won't see it like that. Now, I think that is such an old school view, right? Because I feel like from a very young age, and obviously in Ireland and stuff like that with Catholicism, and do you know, that old style view, like, people see that women should be more reserved, and that if a woman is less reserved, that makes her a whore, or do you know, like, all of these names that, like, I don't like to even say, because I'm like, I don't see it that way. But I think it's just like that old school notion that, like, someone who dresses less or posts photos like that deserve less respect because they've no respect for themselves. But I think it's actually the opposite. I think they have so much respect for themselves that they feel confident to be able to post those things, like that, you know. And I think that obviously, like, it takes a lot of confidence to post those things. And another girl messaged and she was like, listen, I think people do it for attention. And like you said, Instagram is an attention world.
Like, you're putting it out there for people to notice.
Yeah, exactly.
And to whether like or comment.
Yeah,
do you know?
Exactly. Whether that's a selfie or whether that's in underwear or a bikini or whatever, you know. And then obviously there was other comments about, like, you know, they have a boyfriend, they should have more respect for their partner, but like, their partner may be totally happy. And who's to say that their partner doesn't get off? On that, people, you know?
Liking,
you know, like, I'm a firm believer, like, do you know, if I'm out with Eric and someone's chatting him up, I don't lose my head.
No.
I actually, now obviously if a girl was swinging out of him and he was like, hi,
yeah.
I'm like, listen,
yeah.
shit's about to fucking pop off.
Yeah.
But no, I don't see it like that. I think it's nice. It's nice to know that someone's appreciating your partner, and he thinks of me like that as well. So if a guy is trying to chat me up or something like that, he'll also look at it like that. It's nice that your partner is appreciated, because obviously you appreciate your partner, and you, before you got with your partner, you appreciated them from afar, and then you approached them. Yeah. Do you know? Did you not?
Yeah.
You know, so like, is it not nice that someone else does the same?
That's a really good way of like looking at it, like.
Is it not nice that someone else does the same?
So like there's no jealousy there?
No. And like obviously he would, like if we were out on a night out, and like obviously I'm well able to handle myself. Yeah. You know, like I can be trouble. Yeah. I'm well able, but like he will step in when he feels it's time to step in, and I will step in if I feel it's time to step in, but we never let it go that far, you know. And I think that that's obviously very important as well. Like. And like when we go out on a night out, Eric might be gone for half the night talking to women because they're like, you're the TRX fella, aren't you? And like if I was to get hung up on that, I couldn't go out
like
anymore.
Yeah, no, because that is something that like that I'd be like, does she not get bad?
No, I used to when we first started
going
out.
I would find that extremely hard.
It was really daunting when we first started going out, and I was kind of like, oh my god, can I do this, can't I do this? And then like, you know, obviously because he was single at the time that I met him, he was used to being a little flirt, and I was like, listen, you can't fucking be going into work flirting with all these girls. Of course, I was like, you have a girlfriend. And he didn't understand the difference between, as I said, we grew through communication. He didn't understand the difference between flirting and being nice, and he grew to understand that, you know. And you know, I think everybody flirts in some way. Do you know, like it's.
I definitely flirt with everyone that I meet.
You can be I'm a huge flirt, and like, well, I used to be. I have it obviously reined in. Yeah. But like, I think you do it subconsciously. Oh yeah, unbeknownst to yourself. You know, like I think everybody does. So there's obviously a stage where, you know, flirting is going too far, of course, and you know, when you need to pull back, and that's totally fine. But obviously, I found it really daunting when we first got together. Yeah, I can just imagine. Through communication.
I wouldn't be able now. I'd be like, but you know what I mean? That's something that's just amazing. That like, I suppose, you know, if you suffer with self-esteem and stuff, and then your boyfriend is going into all these girls, and that you actually came through that. Yeah, like that's incredible. Yeah, because like that's incredible. Like
I think people have a perception of me that I'm a very confident person. And
you do come across really confident,
you know, like, and that's the thing. But I think that that's almost like a guard that I put up to almost protect myself. Yeah. But like, if you ask Eric or any of my friends, they'll tell you that I'm really self-conscious.
Are you?
Really, I'm self-conscious about my body. I'm self-conscious about my looks. You know, like I will take.
You're fab, like.
But
you're absolutely fucking fab.
And I would say the same about you. But I think like we're always the last person to see it. Like, you know. Always the last person. I would take a million selfies before I would post one, and then I would think about deleting it, you know. And it's obviously for that, you know, that self-justification when you post photos up to Instagram, and you're kind of hoping that like people will like it. Yeah, of course. And if someone doesn't like it, you're like, oh, why didn't they like that? You know. But it's very easy to get sucked into that vortex, and I think it's about pulling yourself back out, you know. So I kind of try and find my limits with it, like within it. But yeah, I'd be very self-conscious.
No, you're fucking fabulous. Like,
do you know, and
I'm actually like, this is the first proper conversation that we've had. Yeah. You're fab. Can we be friends?
Yeah. I was like, who was I talking to? Yeah. Who was I talking to yesterday? Was it Emma Sheehan?
Oh, Emma, yeah. And she's a
do you know, I'm nearly certain it was her, and I can't remember, but I'm 99% sure. She was like, you will get on someone. Yeah.
Like, no, I'm literally like, can we be friends now?
Yeah, she was like, you'll bounce off each other.
Okay, well look, I think we'll leave it there. Yeah. But okay, so if anyone wants to get onto you, you've got another page, Leah Stundon.
So the one for my makeup is Beauty by Leah. Okay. XO, and obviously I suppose if you just type in my name, Leah Stundon, both pages will come up. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Do you know, if you're kind of getting hung up on the names, okay,
you're fucking fab. Thanks so much.